Hello and welcome to Ivanti Service Manager Object Matching Training. In this course, I'm going to give you an overview of object matching, including a description of object matching. We'll talk about some uses and some existing examples of object matching. We'll show you how to customize the existing object matching. And then we'll go in and we'll create our own object matching setup, including the field attributes, creating buttons, and even updating the forms. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to show you about object matching using the incident business object. And so for the incident business object, we're using object matching to help resolve a customer's issue or incident. Okay, so if I come in here and I log a new incident, okay, now this field here is set up to search the other business objects in object matching. So you'll see the little magnifying glass there, and when I either click on that or hit tab to go to the next field, I'm going to hit tab, it runs object matching. And so object matching, what you're looking at is object matching out of the box. So I've got this customer and I'm logging, a summary of what's going on with them. This is going to bring up information from other business objects, hopefully to help me resolve Bob's issue or incident. So I'm going to take a look at existing incidents. Let me just expand that. And first off, I'm going to take you down to the bottom here, and there's a filter turned on. So when you're updating or creating object matching, you can tell it to filter records, and you can even tell it whether or not to run it automatically, and also whether or not you want the user to be able to see it and even turn it off. Okay, so this one is showing me incidents that have been resolved. All right, so I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to open one up. How about this one? So you're going to determine which field here that they see, your link field. You'll determine what field they see down here, so the information that's displayed. You can tell it whether or not to highlight the matches. I'm going to click right here. Okay, here's my summary, here's my description. So the idea would be that I could go to the summary and the description, and wow, that's the same thing that's going on with Bob. How did they resolve it? Well, this here's kind of an internal training issue. You need to get your users to put in, a better solution. If I was able to follow this resolution and resolve Bob's issue, then I could use this button down here for resolve incident. And when this was set up, what happens is it told object matching basically, but it told the system to take certain fields from this record and put them into fields on this record here. So it's just got the data mapped from this one to this one. Okay, let's say that that wasn't able to help me resolve Bob's issue, so I'm just going to click on this X here to close that. And then if I want to come down here, I've got multiple pages of the incidents. Okay, and I could also just turn that off. Look what I put in the summary field, and it put it over here, and then it's searching these three business objects for any of these three words. Now I could change this. Maybe I don't want it to look for the word not, so I can just come in here and select it and delete it, and then click on the magnifying glass over here to rerun it. Okay, so now I'm getting rid of those records there. Now, I can also have it search, well actually out of the box it also searches problems. Okay, so I could look here, I'm helping Bob out, and I take a look at this and I realize, oh, we have the emails down or something like that. So if I click on that, I can see the information. Now with a problem, well actually let's go back and do a little bit of ITIL here. So we provide services to our customers when there's a a break in one of those services that we provide, we log an incident. And our incident is goal is to get the customer up and running as soon as we can. Problem would be basically a repeatable incident. So a problem can get logged by maybe somebody's got an incident here and they say, okay, well, I just temporarily fixed the customer by doing this, but I want to log a problem so somebody can look into this further. There could also be a lot of incidents that have the same description, and we might decide, okay, there's a problem. So problems can be created from incidents. They can also be created by monitoring. Let's say I'm on the problem manager team and I'm monitoring all of the incidents that are logged. And I might see that we have a lot of incidents for, let's say, a certain server, something like that. So I could, say that I want to investigate that, and that's another way of logging a problem. So the goal of the problem is to get to the root cause. So I might, do X, Y, and Z and get this customer working, but I didn't actually get to the root cause. So there's the problem. Now, while somebody's working on the problem, they could offer up a workaround. So if I get any more incidents like this or that match this problem, here's what I want you to do for now. And so if they have a workaround in there, we've got a button out of the box, resolve via workaround. And so what it's going to do is it's going to take the data from the mapped fields, put them on that incident over there, and then mark that incident as resolved. It's also going to link that It's also going to link that incident to the problem. So later on, maybe for this incident, we routed everybody to a different printer. But once we got the print server working again, by resolving the problem, then I can see all the incidents linked to it, and then maybe I send an email saying, switch back to, your default printer or something like that. All right, so it links it. Then there's also resolution, so maybe we already found a resolution to that, and I can just choose to resolve via resolution. Now, maybe in this case, there's no resolution or workaround, but I could choose link problem with incident, and what that's going to do is it's going to let whoever's working on that problem know, here's another incident that I think is being caused by that problem that we have. Okay, and then the third one that we have out of the box for incident is knowledge. And so knowledge, of course, you're going to be building that up as you work with the system. And so in here, it's taking this text here, and let's do, how about this one? Okay, and so some are question answers, some are error messages, some are just plain old white paper documents. But so I'm taking a look at this, and if I'm able to follow the instructions and resolve Bob's issue over here, then I can choose link and resolve. And just like the others, it's going to take the data from the field and put it into the mapped field of of Bob's record, and then mark that as resolved. Okay. All right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to collapse these. That is my object matching. I'm going to go ahead and just collapse that right there. All right. Now, anytime you want to do a search on more than one business object, you can also come over here to the object matching and, just put something in there. All right. So the idea with the object matching is to help us resolve this customer's issue right away. All right. Over here, I'll pick a service. Okay, and then I'll just save that. Okay, so that's object matching working, and some examples of how it's used out of the box. Okay, so let's look at how the incident object matching is set up in the configuration console. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to my business objects. Now you will need to know which layout is being used. So one way to check would be to go to the page layouts. And the layout that I'm going to be using in the user interface is going to be the Service Desk Analyst. So I'm going to scroll down to that, select it, okay, and then here's Incident. If I click on the Advanced Options, it's going to tell me the name of the layout that's currently being used. Okay, so that's the one that I'd need to go to see how this was set up or to make changes. So I'm going to go to my business object for incident, layouts, and this is the one that I was looking at. Okay, and if I go to the main form here, edit properties, and then right here where it says enable matching panel, I can click on the link here and it's going to take me in and show me how it was set up. So basically, yes, you give it a name. This is saying to run the object matching whenever the subject/summary field changes. So let's take a look at that in here. All right, I create a new incident and I put something in the subject summary field. And I hit tab. Okay, now it's searching the other business object or objects that I asked it to search. Okay, so that's the field. Now it says to match keywords from the incidents. So what it's searching is it's searching the subject summary field. So it's taking that, putting it over here, and then searching for those values in the system. All right, these here are the business objects we said we wanted it to search. Let's take a look first at incident. So if I choose edit preview, we can see the title field is the summary and the preview is the description. So when it finds a match for incident, okay, here's my summary field, and then down below is my description field. Okay, how many of preview lines do you want to see? So we're only seeing 2 lines of the text from the description. Highlight matching text in the preview. So remember, some of these turned yellow, so that's the text that matches what we've put up in here. And then form for hover panel. So what they're talking about there is when I click on one of these, what form do I want to have pop up? So I could create my own or use an existing one. And then finally down here we've got the resolve incident. So let me just click on edit here. Okay, this is where we're mapping the data from the record it's looking at to the record that we're filling out. Okay, so we're telling it to when to disable the button expression. So if the status is resolved or closed, we don't need it to do object matching, or we don't want it to. Okay, and then over here we've got the fields for my incident for that record, and these are the field codes and the value that are going to be put into that record to make it resolved. Okay, and let me just cancel out of that. And we got this here by doing a new button there. Okay, and then edit filter. So when it's showing the matching over here on the right hand side, remember we can have the filter, we can have it turned on, we can hide it from the user. So this is where you'd set up that filter. So we've got it, the filter called resolved, and we are showing that to the user. Remember we saw the resolved over there. And then we are having it run by default. Okay, showing it to the user means they can go in and turn it off if they want to. And then we did the same thing for the status of closed. We said show the filter to the user and run it by default. And then finally we have the active, so if it's not closed or resolved, those would be the records that it's showing. Okay, and then for problem and knowledge, these would be set up probably a little bit different. So edit preview. All right, we can see the title field and the description. 2 lines are going to show. We're highlighting the text. Here's the form that we want to see. These are the buttons that show down on the bottom. So when I have a connection to problem and my summary description, open it up. Here's the 3 fields down on the bottom. And that's what these fields are right over here. So what we're doing is we're setting it up and telling the system what to do when somebody clicks on one of these buttons. We're also telling it to disable based on a condition. So over here, link problems with incident, can choose edit over here. All right, we're linking it because our incident business object and the problem business object have a relationship. I'm allowed to do that. So over here, you'd see what we're linking, or I'm on incident. And then disable button based on an expression. So that's what you're seeing down here. So if there's nothing in the workaround, we've told it to disable that button. So it's just grayed out. Okay. Cancel that one, and let's do the resolve via workaround. So here's where you can see. All right, so this is set up, and this is where we're telling it to disable the button. Disable it if there's nothing in the workaround field. If we want it to resolve via workaround, so the button's not grayed out, or when it's not grayed out, this is what it's going to do when you click on that button. These are the fields for my current record that I'm looking at. These are the values from the record that this is linked to, so this one here. All right. Okay. And knowledge, basically set up the same way, but we've got, the information that now for knowledge, we've got different types of knowledge articles, so we're having it connect all of those. A good example would be what we set up for our hotel locations. We had extended business objects. Okay. All right, so what we did was we went to our incident business object. Let me just back up a little bit here. Okay. From there, we went to the layout that was being used. Oops, that's my lists. Okay, and this is the one. Remember, we found that out by going to page layouts and looking at our role. I'll just show you real quick. Service desk analyst, incident, advanced options, and now I can see the layout that's currently being used. All right, so I'm going to go back to my business object. Incident, layouts, layout service desk. All right, and to get there, I went down to my form view. Okay, and then edit properties, and then right here, enable matching panel. So you just click on the link here to go back in and see what we just saw there. Okay, so what we're going to do though is in the user interface, when we are looking at our hotel reservation, okay, so when I click over here to create a new record, all right, and I put in a location, I want it to search a business object that I called hotel events. And the hotel events is going to show the name of the hotel, the name of the event, and then also the date of that event. So when I'm logging somebody in or booking them and I do New York, I can see over here on the right-hand side upcoming events for just for New York. All right, so to do that, I've already created a business object for events. Let me change my role again. Okay, so let's take a quick peek at it. Okay, whoops. Okay, hotel city events, values. So I've got the date, the hotel location, and then the name of the event. Okay, so that's what I want to have show up on the right-hand side in the object matching. So to set that up, I'm going to go to my business object. Okay, Ivanti Towers. And then I'm going to come over here to my layout. This is the one that's being used. This one's not used at the moment. Collapse that. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go to my form. I'm just going to do my main form. Okay, and then edit properties. And then right here, if I put the check mark in for Enable Matching Panel, it's going to open up that dialog box that we were looking at. Okay, so there's the name of the matching layout. Okay, we're saying to run the Vonti Towers reservation matching whenever, and so we're picking the field from over here. Location field gets a value put in it, then match keywords from, and I'm going to put another business object or link another business object. So over here, I'm telling it which fields we want to match. Okay. Here's where I'm going to introduce the other business object, the one I want it to search. So for incident, we had knowledge, and we had one for problem, and we had one for incident. For ours, I just have one business object that I want to link it to, and it is hotel city events. Okay. Preview, so I'm going to pick the form that they'll see when they, open that up. And I only created, I think, one. But so anyway, on the title field, what do I want to put over here? I'm going to make my title be the hotel location. And then the preview text that they see down below, I'm going to make that the event, name of event. Okay. And I'm just going to show the one line there. And then highlight matching text. Sure, why not? Do my form over here. Okay. And like I said, this is the only one that I'm going to do for right now. I could set up a filter. I'll come back and play with it a little bit more. Save that. And save that. Okay, so I'm on my layout, the one that we're able to see in there. Let me save this. Okay, and so a couple things that we need to do is, so still on this business object, I'm going to go to the form. Okay, and then the field that I'm going to use to do my lookup, my location, over here you need to make the control type, so this top area right here, you need to change it from text field to object matching. Now when I click off of that, you'll see I get the little magnifying glass there, and then I'll save that. All right, and also the field has to be full text indexed. So let's come back over here again. Fields, and I was looking up location, and it's full text indexed. Okay, and the one it's searching on needs to be full text indexed as well. So let's take a look. Okay, so it's full text indexed. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go test it out in the user interface. I'm going to select this. Okay, and now when I put in my location, I put some events for, I think, for New York and for Hawaii. And then when I tab off of that, over on the right-hand side, it's showing me events. So I've got New York, and I've got the tour of Manhattan, and then New York, I've got shopping on 5th. And I think I even put some in for Hawaii. Okay, so we've got those there. Now, I put a hover form, a form that they can see, but I didn't put any buttons to do anything. Probably I would put a field right here that says, I don't know, description of event or something like that, and then I could have that automatically populate with the value from here. This is the one I used. Let's just collapse that. And I'm coming down to my main form. This is the one I set it up on. And over here, I am going to click on Edit Properties. Now, I already have this set up, so it has a check mark. So I'm just going to click over here on the link, and it's going to open it up for me. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here to my Edit Preview. Okay. And down here is where you would add a new button. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add new button. Okay, and I'm going to call this one interested in event. Okay, now if I had a link, I could actually link these. Remember, a link would be, an example is when you're in an incident and you link to maybe a CI or something like that. So you could do that. So down here, I'm going to set up the button. What I want to have happen is the field for my reservation business object that's called event of interest. I want it to update with the name of this event. I should have wrote this down. Event name. That might not be right, but we'll see. Okay, save that, save that, save that, this one, and go back to my user interface. Come over here and all right, hit my tab key to activate it. So here's some events that we have in New York. I think I might like to go shopping on 5th. So when I click on the link here, it's going to open up that form. And here's the button that we created. So when I click that button, I want the name of the event to go here.